Okay. Here we go again.
On my way.
Welcome to Knit Together with Kim and Jonna. I'm Kim, and unfortunately, John is not here today. But today, I'm going to talk about the mYak Fibers retreat in the Dolomites. And Jonna wasn't there at the retreat, so it works out fine. Actually, though, just so you know, right this very minute, we were supposed to be filming episode 38, but Jonna got in the car and was driving here from Vermont. She had just left, and she hit just torrential downpours. And then I checked the weather because I knew it was going to rain, but I hadn't really checked how hard it was going to rain. And so I saw that horrible storms were coming in, and they were going to get worse and worse and worse throughout the day. In addition, I had just gotten a flood watch alert, and so she was in the car and she was feeling anxious. I said, Jonna, just go back home. We can reschedule it and film it next week or something. So anyway, I think that's what we're going to do. We'll film it next week. So yeah. Anyway, and since then we actually got a tornado watch. So it's good that she didn't come here. Although I miss her very much, but it's good she didn't come here. And now actually I have a chance to do my recap of the mYak Fibers retreat. It was wonderful. As you know, probably it was my third mYak Fibers retreat. The first one we went to was in 2023. And I think that was the very first year they had done the retreat in the Dolomites in Paola's hometown of Cavalese, which is absolutely lovely. By the way, we are having a storm here. So if you hear the lightning, I'm sorry. You can't hear lightning. So if you hear the thunder, then that's what it is. I can't stop it, but I'm going to film anyway. So anyway, and then we went again in 2024, and then we didn't go last year for various reasons. But this year was my husband's 60th birthday, and when we were planning what we were going to do for his 60th birthday trip, he wanted to go to Italy, and he asked if we could go back to the mYak Fibers retreat. My husband loves Cavalese, loves the mYak Fibers retreat, because you can go as just a knitter, or you can go as a knitter with a spouse, a non-knitting spouse. You can obviously go as a knitter with a knitting friend too. But he loves it. Many of the activities he participates in, he does not participate in the knitting classes, but he participates in everything else, and he absolutely loves it. So you'll hear all about it right now. Anyway, this year they did 2 retreats because the guest designer was Isabell Kraemer. And by the way, to get the first notice that the retreats are opening up for people to reserve their spot for next year, you have to be in the mYak Fibers mailing list and subscribe to their mailing list. And then you get first dibs, or maybe even the previous retreat people. No, I think it might be just if you're on their mailing list, you get first dibs. And most of the time, the retreats sell out immediately, even before they're open to the general public. And I think that's what happened this year with Isabell Kraemer. And so they immediately asked her if she could do a second back-to-back retreat. They asked, obviously, the hotel as well, and it worked. So they did 2 retreats in a row. And actually, I went to the first retreat, and then I found out that Beth McDonald Stone went on the second retreat, and we were literally like 2 ships passing, not in the night, but in the day, or 2 cars passing on the whatever that highway is, the A6, the A4, I can't remember now. But we were leaving as she was arriving, so I didn't get to see her. But I also want to tell you that she was much better than I was. She came home from her retreat, which was after mine, and she immediately, I think that week, filmed her recap. So anything that, her experience might have been different in many ways than mine, similar also, but you can also go and watch Beth McDonald Stone's recap of the mYak retreat in the Dolomites. She went, as I said, the second week. So The first week, the retreat itself ran from June 16th to June 20th. But I do want to tell you that before that, usually when I had been on it before, the retreat started Sunday night and ended Thursday morning. And this time it started Tuesday night, evening, and ended on Saturday. So that was a little different for me. Fine, wonderful, but different. And so what we planned was we left JFK in New York on the Thursday before. So that was June 12th. And of course it's an overnight flight. And we arrived in Italy on Friday morning, the 13th. And at the same time, we had asked our son and his wife and their two kids, two of our grandchildren, our French grandchildren, I call them, who live in Bordeaux, France, to fly in and come join us in the Dolomites. And they did. I'm not going to talk about that here, everything that we did, but it was absolutely amazing. And so they had flown in Thursday night, but they didn't have an overnight flight. They're just flying from Bordeaux. So we got them a hotel room. They stayed at the Sheraton. If you ever need to come in and get rid of your jet lag for one of these retreats, then fly into Malpensa. And of course you can go stay in Milan or whatever, but there's a Sheraton right at the airport, literally at the airport. And so we got them a room there. And they stayed the night, and then we all met for breakfast. Then we went and got our rental car. We actually rented a 9-person van because it was going to be the 4 of them and the 2 of us plus all our suitcases. So we drove to Cavalese. And just so you know, it is about a 4-hour drive if you don't stop. There are wonderful service areas to stop, though, so many of them, and they have the best sandwiches with mozzarella and delicious espresso. It's not like an American an American gas station. They're amazing. So we planned to stop about 2 hours in, I think it was about 2 hours in. We stopped and got, refreshments and went to the bathroom and everything. And then we arrived in Cavalese that evening. And so we got there, so Friday night, Saturday, Sunday night, Monday night, so 4 nights. We first stayed, before the retreat started, we stayed at a hotel up the hill a little bit called Hotel Excelsior, or Excelsior Hotel. I never really know which way to say it, but it's absolutely amazing. My husband and I 2 years ago, first of all, it's right up the cobblestone street from where the retreat is. And the last night of the retreat, there's always a pizza party, and it's in the Excelsior Pizza, which is in the hotel, Excelsior Hotel building. And then also around the corner of the other side of the Excelsior Hotel is the Michelin star restaurant that's owned by the chef that we do all the retreat activities with. So the hotel is owned by his brother. So 2 years ago, my husband and I went into the lobby and we asked for a little tour of the hotel, and we just fell in love with it. It's completely different from the retreat hotel. It's a lot more old-fashioned, much older building. So this time when we flew our son in and his family, and we were going to be there early, we decided to stay at the Hotel Excelsior, or the Excelsior Hotel, and we did, and it was amazing. Again, I'm not going to talk about it. So then on June 16th, that morning we checked out. That was the Tuesday. We checked out of the Excelsior Hotel, and we could have walked down the street with our suitcases, but we didn't. We piled everything into the 9-person van, drove down the hill, parked the van, went into the hotel, and began the check-in process, although our rooms weren't ready yet. Understandably, we got there, like 10:15 in the morning. And I'm pretty sure Paola and Andrea were already there, and also Tracy was there. Tracy is just a longtime mYak super fan, and she was at the first mYak retreat I went to, and she's been on multiple retreats, and she also was at A Time to Remember in New York City during Vognit Live weekend the last 2 years. But they were just starting to get the tables set up in the room where we have the classes, and the boxes of yarn had arrived and everything had arrived. So I saw them, and Tracy immediately gave me this adorable bag, which is in the thumbnail. And it says, obviously, mYak Tibetan Fibers, Cavalese 2026. And she didn't have them for everyone. Sorry. I was one of the lucky ones. And this became my project bag the whole entire retreat. And so what she said was the reason she made it is because she had gone on a previous retreat and made one for her little group of friends. And then so many other people on the retreat wanted one that she offered to make them. So she went home, and I think she's still in the process of making those bags, but she made some for us. So that was really sweet. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you so much. And yeah, so I saw them, and so let me talk about this for a second. So if you want to see literally every moment, every behind the scenes moment, I mean, maybe not every, okay, that's exaggerating. A lot of extra footage. We did start a new membership level right before the retreat. And I was very undecided whether or not I was going to do it or not. I didn't know if people would be interested. I just didn't know. I don't know anybody else who had done anything like this before, but I decided to do it literally at the last minute. I think Monday night before the retreat started, I filmed the live announcement, announcing it on YouTube. And then I filmed two more live public, open to the public announcements, I think maybe Tuesday morning. And then I did another one. I can't remember, but I decided to do it. Anyway, so we have a new membership level called VIP Live. And actually right before this, I went live with them to show them my setup and what I was going to do and everything. And so we didn't know if it was going to be only for the retreat or if we were going to continue it. We are continuing it. I'm trying to continue it, see if people find it interesting. And even though I literally announced it the night before, in the end, I think we had, I don't remember, 14 to 16 VIP members. So I was very, very excited about that. And it does cost, in case you want to know, it costs $29.99 a month. And I am going to continue it. Last week, I did a live from the New York Botanical Garden. And then that was last weekend. And then last week, I did one from Pick Up Every Stitch. And then I did one today before this setup. So Jonna has not been able to join me for those yet, but we're going to figure that out so that she can. She's just gotten to Vermont and is trying to get settled. Anyway, so if you literally want to see so much more, packing the swag bags, so many things. I can't even explain all the things that I did. Basically, just so you know, every day, the full days, I went live before breakfast, after breakfast, which means before the first class, after the class, before lunch, after lunch, before the next activity, during the activity, oftentimes, or walking to the activity or whatever. After the activity, I did a recap, before dinner, and then after dinner. And basically, I went live at least 8 times a day. And it turns out, I think if you join now, you can look back and see the videos from last month. Besides the 3 public videos I did, announcing the live, which totaled to 56 minutes, like an hour of footage, I did a total of 34 VIP live videos during the retreat. And that equaled 6 hours, 51 minutes, and 59 seconds. So let's just say 7 hours. So that was a grand total of 7 hours and 47 minutes. It's almost 8 hours of footage for $29.99. I mean, so 29, 8 times 3 is 24, 8 times 4 is 32. So it's like, $4 an hour or something like that. But it was really fun. And I literally filmed so many things. And I was really proud of myself. I said I was going to do it. And I did it. And one thing that I liked about it was, in this case, there's no post-production. There's really no pre-production either, other than figuring out what I'm going to film. And there's no post-production. And I know this last year from doing event videos, if I take hours and like Vogue Knit Live, I took hours and hours and hours of footage. It took me weeks to edit it. It's a lot of work. And honestly, not that many people watch it. Anyway, I'm kind of getting off track. But if you want to see every single minute, basically, like I'm taking you along as much as I can. I couldn't take you in Isabell's class because it's a class that people paid for. I couldn't take you places when there was no cell service, which was an issue. Sometimes it definitely was an issue, but people who did it, the people who did the VIP Live membership really felt like they were there. And so it's been really fun. Anyway, so in case you're interested. So I got there Tuesday morning, and Tracy and Andrea is the vet, the other owner of mYak, and Paolo were there, and they were starting to get set up. And I asked her when she was going to do the swag bags, because I was going to help pack them and, you know, film it for the VIP Live members, which I did. And so I had that morning then to go hang out with my family for one last time before the retreat started. They stayed throughout the retreat. They also moved down to, the name of the hotel, Park Hotel Azalea. Park Hotel Azalea. I always mix up the words, which order they go in. Park Hotel Azalea, absolutely amazing. As opposed to being like the old-fashioned kind of hotel up the hill, this is a more modern, almost kind of got a Scandinavian look to it. It's an amazing hotel. And by the way, I am going to put some footage at the end, like a montage of pictures and everything. And I can't remember if I have pictures of the rooms. I think I might have a picture of the kids' room. It was really cool. If you go to their website and look up a family room, there's these cool bunk beds that are like built into the wall. It almost looks like they're on like a spaceship or something, but it's wood. It's really cool. Or like you're in a submarine in a way. The kids loved their room. So anyway, so before the retreat started, I went and hung out with my family that day. And then when I came back, we did pack the swag bags, and I helped set up the tables. I helped put the yarn out. I helped hang up the samples. It was really fun. I've never really been there for that part of it, and I really, really enjoyed it. It was really lovely just to see how they think, how thoughtful they are about everything they do. It was really a wonderful experience. So so that night, we'll call that day one, but it doesn't start until the evening. People started arriving around 6:30 or 7. And then there's a welcome cocktail party out on the back deck. And it was lovely, gorgeous weather. And so we had, I think, Aperol spritzes and some hors d'oeuvres. And Paola does a big welcome speech. And oh my goodness, I was filming that live, VIP live. And I filmed 45 minutes, and when it uploaded, it only uploaded 6 minutes. Kind of annoying because Isabell Kraemer was in it and everything, but oh well, that's technology for you. But it was really, it's just a lovely time. And Paola goes through the schedule, and she hands out the swag bags. So let me show you the swag bags. Okay, so this was the bag this year, and it's huge. And so it says knit, eat, sleep, mYak Tibetan fibers, retreat. So love it. I think this is a new bag for them. And just so you know, because my husband and I both paid for the retreat, I am the knitting participant and he is the non-knitting participant, but we both get swag bags. His is slightly different. He doesn't get yarn. I've told you guys this in the past, but just a reminder. So you get a schedule. This is the schedule. And it tells every minute of the day what we're going to be doing. And then let me look at my list so I do this kind of in order. Okay, so you get, again, the Michelin star chef, his sister-in-law, so his brother's wife, maybe both of them, I'm not sure, his brother and sister-in-law, have created this company called Herbe de Alpes, or Herbs of the Alps, basically. And so a lot of things, a few of the things in the swag bag are from that company. So this is an herb mix that we got in the bag, and both husband and wife, or non-knitting participant and knitting participant, got that. We also got this syrup, and there were different flavors. This one I chose because I know my husband loves the Mugo, which is from the pine. Pinot Mugo. So this syrup, it's good for wellness. They said you can just open it up and take a teaspoon for wellness if you think you're catching a cold, a cough, or whatever. Or you can put it in yogurt, put it in tea, but it's a syrup. And we also got their famous hand cream. And everybody absolutely loves this hand cream. And so, by the way, these are the extras because my husband and I both got an entire set of these things. So in the VIP Live, oh, I didn't tell you, I gave them prizes. So the 3 full days of the retreat, I did a random drawing of my VIP members, and they each get a prize, the people who won. So there was a winner from Wednesday, a winner from Thursday, and a winner from Friday. And part of it is these things and some mYak things. Anyway, so those will be in your prizes. And so the hand cream is absolutely lovely. And what else? Oh, there's some candies. These are not Herbs of the Alps, but there were different flavors of candies. Just kind of randomly, when we were packing the swag bags, we put different ones in each bag. So that's fun. And then we also, that was all for the Herbs of the Alps products. And then we got each a bag of polenta. And mine is, this one is porcini. And it's one of the Michelin star chef's favorite company. So Molino Pellegrini. So we each got, my husband and myself each got polenta. And then, okay, I think we also each got a pencil. And what's interesting about these pencils, I didn't know, Paula just told me this year, but here where the eraser, there is no eraser. It's like the end of like a half of a capsule. And inside are like wildflower seeds, some of the wildflowers that grow in the Alps. So you can just plant, when you're done with your pencil, it gets down, you can plant the bottom of it and grow flowers, which is really, really fun and cool. And so then let me show you what the husbands got. So the knitters got yarn, which I'll show you in a second. But instead of the 2 different yarn things, the husbands got this is also from Herbs of the Alps, a grappa, bottle of grappa, which is alcohol that I think is made from the leftovers from winemaking. I was asking more questions about it this year, but nice little bottle of that. My husband has not opened it yet, although he loves grappa. And then also dried flowers, edible flowers that you can, like if you make a risotto at home, you can sprinkle these beautiful dried flowers on them. So I think these are made by Alessandro Gilmozzi's company, AG, for the Michelin star chef. So that's that. And then as far as there was also a bingo card in here. So they had a bingo game, and there are a bunch of different things you could do to get a stamp. And I actually won one of the prizes. I think there were 5 winners. And so I won one of the prizes. And so some of that, the things I got from there will also be in the VIP Live winners prizes. So we got 2 balls of baby camel, and we got a pattern. So when you participate in the retreat, Isabell Kraemer, or whoever the designer is, usually makes 2 patterns just for retreat participants. And so we get it first, we get to see it first. I hear emergency vehicles outside. I hope everybody's okay. So besides the swag bag and all the other things, you get 2 patterns for free. But this year, I think someone at the last minute, they were joking about it. They knew they were going to give everybody 2 balls of the baby camel. And this is the color I chose. It's called, what color is mine? Red Raisin. It's this reddish brown. I don't know if you can really see it. But you're wondering why I don't have 2 in here. I remembered after I left the retreat, the shipment of yarns for the retreat arrived without this color, for display. So I loaned them mine for display, and then I forgot to get it back. But Paula will bring it back when she comes back. So that's that. But Paula contacted Isabell Kraemer kind of at the last minute and said, "Hey, for this baby camel, do you have a hat pattern we could slip in there with it?" And Isabel said, "I don't know, but I'll just write one really fast." So she did. She wrote a pattern for us really fast to go with the yarn. It's called Vetta, V-E-T-T-A, and it is not yet available on Ravelry. I don't know when and if she will publish it, but it's a really lovely, just a simple beanie with kind of, I think they're faux cables. Looks like 2x2 cables, but it's really beautiful. They had a sample there and it's gorgeous. So we got that pattern also for free. So far 3 free patterns. which is really cool. And then they also usually put in another sample. There's some little tiny samples of some other fiber gentili yarns, and then this mini skein of mini Mediterraneo. I got a really pretty pink color. Let me open it. Here it is. So this is 100% Italian wool. This is called Bougainvillea, which, boy, you see a lot of Bougainvillea when you're in Italy. Oh my goodness. And there's a whole bunch of other things in here. Yeah. So that's that. That's it for, oops, things are falling on the floor now. That's it for the swag bags. So that was really fun. So after the welcoming speech at the cocktail party, Paola, Andrea, Carlotta, and Tracy all carried up all the swag bags and distributed them to everybody. So we were all just so happy. It really then is just like, okay, this is the start of the retreat. So fun. Then, let's see. Then we went to dinner at the hotel, at the Park Hotel Azalea. So just so you know, and this is the same thing up at the Hotel Excelsior, it's very common in Europe. And I finally understand. So a bed and breakfast is a hotel or a place you're staying where breakfast is included. And when I made the reservation for us up at the Hotel Excelsior and for my son and his family at the Hotel Park Azalea, or the Park Hotel Azalea, it's half board. So what that means, it's breakfast and dinner, which I never really totally understood that until this year. So breakfast and dinner were included at both the hotel up the hill and for non-retreat people for the Park Hotel Azalea. And then for the retreat, though, all meals are included. So anyway, so we all went to dinner. And another thing about this type of arrangement is it's kind of like a cruise ship, if you're more familiar with that. They put your table number on a table and it's reserved for you. The whole time you're there, you sit at the same table. So my son and his family sat at a table up at Hotel Excelsior, they put both of us, all 6 of us together, obviously. But down at Hotel Park Azalea, or Park Hotel Azalea, sorry, I keep messing that up. They sat at a different table, which is, they're right there, had dinner the same time we did. And then I was there the first year for this retreat, and I think the staff was a little surprised that we all the retreat participants sit everywhere and we change seats all the time. So they gave up on trying to keep track of where we sit in the dining room. And so other people are staying at the hotel at the same time and they have their reserved seats, and we retreat participants have to know not to sit at their tables where their room number is, but we are allowed to sit at any of the tables where the retreat participants sit. So anyway, we went in to have dinner, and for the retreat participants, I can't remember if there were meal choices, like entree choices. I don't think so. I don't remember now. I ate so much food in Italy. Oh my goodness. I know for my son and his family, they had, and they would ask them the night before, obviously not the first night, they can't do that, but they would ask them the night before the next night what they wanted off the menu for the next night. But they had, I think, 3 entree choices. Everybody got the same appetizer, and maybe 2 dessert choices. Anyway, so, but the food is absolutely amazing. And even though we get all this plated food and it's served to us, there's always a huge buffet. I mean, huge side tables, sideboards full of vegetable dishes, obviously cheeses, meats, bread, cakes, all kinds of things. So it's absolutely amazing. So a lot of people went and filled up their plates with that first, and then of course they got served their entrees in addition. But it was really amazing. Okay, so then interesting. This year, I didn't notice in previous years people would stay up after dinner and like hang out in the lounge area and knit together. That didn't really happen this year. I don't really know why. I think every retreat has kind of a different personality. I mean, everybody's super friendly, but most people I think were completely exhausted, especially the first night. So they just go right to their room and go to bed. So, funny thing. So that night, at the welcome, I had found out that the next morning, the hotel offers yoga maybe it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday mornings. So we can participate in that as well if we want, and that's before breakfast. And then for the retreat participants, Andrea, both Wednesday and Friday morning, offered a waterfall hike down to the waterfall. It's down the hill, which is so fun. Up the hill, not quite so much fun coming back up the hill, but it's a good workout. But it was funny. My evening VIP live before I went to bed, I told the participants the options, and then I had this crazy, AKA stupid idea, I let the VIP live members vote on what I should do. Either go to the yoga class or go on the hike to the cascada, to the waterfall. And then I gave them a third option, sleep in. Okay, they did not choose sleep in, just so you know. Most people chose the waterfall hike. And I did it, but I have to say, if I hadn't let them choose, I might not have done it. Because normally when I go on the retreat, I do not do the yoga and I do not get up early for the hikes. But it was good because the VIP live members, it encouraged me because I was doing this live, documenting it, live broadcasting. I did it. It was really fun. So the next morning, Wednesday morning, day 2, I got up and when I went on the waterfall hike, and for most of it, I walked with my friend Diana. Oh my goodness, I had found out literally just the day before the retreat was starting. So I was already in Italy and I found out that my friend Diana, she is my fiber friend, one of our channel members, who I met in person finally at a VogueNet Live, I think 2 years ago. She is the one who has a house in Altadena, California, and her entire house burned to the ground. And we shared the GoFundMe last year to help her until insurance money came through, and everybody was so generous. That was amazing. But she came on the retreat. Oh my goodness, I was so happy, Diana. It was so wonderful to hang out with you. And so she got up early and we did the waterfall hike together. And so we walked all the way down to the waterfall, and there is a path that goes up and over. There's a bridge over the top of the waterfall, a footbridge. And so not Paula, I'm sorry. Isabell and Diana wanted to go up and do that. The rest of the group was not doing it. And I had already done it a few days before with my family. So I just decided to come back with the group. But we hiked all the way down to the waterfall. We took pictures and then we walked all the way back. And by the time we got up to the hotel, we're sweating. And I didn't even worry about taking a shower. I just went straight into breakfast because I was starving and I just wanted my espresso. That's what I wanted. So we went in and had breakfast. Again, huge spread, crazy huge spread. Breakfast is all buffet. So you can just eat and eat and eat and eat. And all the coffee is included. They do serve American coffee, but they also have an espresso machine. You can have espresso, cappuccino, whatever. It's just all included. There's no extra charge. So breakfast is always lovely. And I have to say, I never eat breakfast at home. But when I was in Italy, I was just like, I'm just going to eat all the things and drink all the things and have fun. And I did. And I don't regret a second of it. So that was amazing. After breakfast was our first Isabell Kraemer workshop. And oh my goodness, you guys. Here I am doing this video. You'd think I'd be like not an expert. You'd think you could ask me advice about going on a retreat. You'd probably think I had like not shopping, sorry. I have packing lists. Okay. Just so you know, my airplane project, because I'm working on this really big, complicated Intarsia project. So I cast this on, I think, in the airport, maybe, or on the airplane. And this is an Isabell Kraemer pattern that I've had for a while. It's Bonnie and Clyde. There's 2 different little scarves in the pattern. This is the first one, Bonnie. This is the one I cast on. And I had gone to, sorry, everything fell on the floor. I had gone to pick up every stitch and purchased mYak Fior de Cashmere in these 2 gorgeous colors. What are they? Flushed Cheeks and Bright Canary. Oh my goodness, I'm dropping everything. So these, and with this pattern, with just one of each color, you can make both scarves. This is just going to keep falling. So this one I cast on in the airplane and I barely knitted anything the entire time. I ended up finishing it. It's tiny, and mine is actually smaller. My gauge is a little tighter than Isabell Kraemer's. I did not gauge swatch. Why? But I finished mine then. After the retreat, my husband and I flew to Puglia, spent another week in Puglia, and then on the way back on that airplane from Puglia to Milan, I bound this off. And yeah, so mine is smaller, so I could just wear it like a little kerchief like this. And it's really just so cute. I love it so much. And then when I got home, or maybe on the trip home, I did cast on Clyde. So Bonnie is knit from the point up to the widest part, and then Clyde is knit from one end to the other. So, and then I reversed the colors, which she does in the pattern. So that wasn't my idea. Anyway, so what I wanted to say, the reason I went, oh my goodness, is because I packed everything for the retreat. I brought my dingly dell. Oh, by the way, I'm wearing my dingly dell. I'll talk about that at the end. And a couple other knitwear items that I might want to wear. I really didn't forget anything except knitting needles. I did not bring a single extra knitting needle. I only had the 2 sizes you need for this. That's it. Just those 2, and they were just 16-inch. They're like short circulars. And then I didn't bring any extra yarn either, which ended up, you know, before you go on the retreat, they send you the pattern specifications, and you can pre-order mYak yarn, and then they give it to you when you're at the retreat. So that wasn't so much of a problem because they were going to give me yarn at the retreat. But I had planned to bring my own yarn, like one little bullet skein of each. But I didn't bring one single knitting needle. Nothing. I had some notions because I had them with this. Nothing. Okay, don't be like me. But what's really funny is I mentioned it to Isabell Kraemer, and she's like, oh, don't worry, I have tons of needles. So I literally borrowed circular needles from Isabell Kraemer for the classes. And then when we were done, I'll show you in a minute, I just put my little swatches on scrap yarn, but it was really funny. I go to a knitting retreat and don't even bring a single knitting needle. Yeah, don't be like me. Anyway, another thing I want to mention is that, especially at this retreat, the classroom where we have the classes is really a wellness area. It's a yoga studio, and it's all glass enclosed, so it's beautiful. You can see this hotel has this gorgeous like lawn in the backyard, goes all the way down. It has a trampoline. My grandkids are really excited. It has a ping pong table outside, has a foosball table inside. So it has all this beautiful outdoor space and the view of the mountains. And so when you're in this glass window enclosed classroom, it can get really warm. And it's just warm in the mountains. It's cool at night, although this year it wasn't really that cool, but it gets warm during the day. So if you come to a retreat like this, dress in layers and really don't expect to wear all your knitwear unless you just want to be hot the whole time. So I did not wear knitwear very much, definitely not through the whole day, but I did wear this once, and I wore another little sweater. Anyway, so we went to the first Isabell Kraemer class, and it was called Dip Stitch Patterns. And so she prepared this handout, and they gave it to us there. We did not have to print it at home. And there are 6 different dip stitch patterns in here. And as you see on the front, you can practice each one on a swatch or incorporate it into something that you're knitting. And the last one is the one we actually practiced in the class. So learning how to do dip stitches. And this is where I did, funny, the 2 patterns we got from Isabell Kraemer for the retreat. One was this t-shirt, and I'll show it to you in a minute. And it's made with Fior di Cashmere, or any fingering weight yarn you want to make it with. And so I did order this bright canary for my t-shirt. So I knew I had that, but we needed a contrast color. So at the retreat, before the first class, I purchased this other like gray color, Torrone, Torrone. And so it's a low contrast, but this is the beginning of my swatch. You won't be able to really see it, with the dip stitch pattern on it. And of course the scrap yarn in it, because I was using Isabell Kraemer's knitting needle. Anyway, so it was really lovely to practice the dip stitches with her there. and she could give us her little tips and tricks. And actually what's amazing is you actually then got a bonus pattern, although if you go to Ravelry, it's free on Ravelry anyway, and it's called Dip It. And so it's a pattern you can use to practice really, I think, any of these dip stitch patterns, but this one specifically, if you make 2 swatches and then just sew up the seam, you have hand wrist warmers, and they're really cute. She had a pair there, really adorable. So the full instructions for that pattern, I'm not going to show, but well, it's free anyway, but they're on the back of the packet. And so we started to make the swatch to make the first wrist warmer, and I do intend on making both wrist warmers, just so you know. So that was the first class with Isabell Kraemer. The classes are 3 hours long, right? Yes, 9 to 12, pretty sure. Oh, I can look at my schedule. Where did I put it? Here it is. Let me not mislead you. Classes, 9:30 to 12:30, yes. Then after the first class, we had a light lunch. And they say light lunch for a reason, because they feed you and feed you and feed you. So we did have a light lunch, but it really wasn't. It was a full lunch. The whole buffet is out there, and it was right there at the Park Hotel Azalea, plus the plated foods that they bring you, the dishes. But after lunch, if you wanted to, you could pay for this extra activity, and it's called Mani in Pasta with Alessandro Gilmozzi, the Green Michelin star chef. So it was our first activity with him. And you go to his pasta lab, he calls it, and it's up the cobblestone street, really close to the hotel, Excelsior. And there were so many people signed up for it, we had to go in 2 groups. But you go into the lab, and first he and one of his assistant sous chefs, taught us how to make pasta from scratch, and how to then to shape a few different shapes of pasta from scratch, and then how to make like the most simple but absolutely delicious, lovely light tomato sauce. And then they mixed it together, and we got to eat some right there, a bite of this absolutely delicious pasta and sauce. And then we went into the next door lab room, and that's where they make pastries. And I found out, I didn't know this before, but this pastry lab, or this pasta lab, is actually during the day like a coffee shop. You can go in and get coffee and pastry. I had no idea, and I actually never did do that, so next time I'll have to do that. But at this time it was closed, and so then we went into the pastry area, and we each got to make a fruit tart. We made the chef, the assistant, the sous chef made the dough, the pastry chef, and then we each got a little ball of dough, and we got like wax paper, we rolled it out, we got rolling pins, we rolled it out, we put it in the tart form, and then we got to squeeze. They had already made the tart filling. I think there was raspberry and there was apricot maybe, and you got to pipe that into your tart, and then we made it like a lattice work top. It was so fun. And then they baked them for us. We picked them up that night at our dinner together. And then some people actually stayed after and learned to make these little cookies. I did not. I got to see the previous group make them. And then I did come back with my VIP Live members, and I showed them a little bit of the class from outside the window, but I didn't stay for that. It's exhausting. Like, it's fun, but especially with doing all the VIP Lives, I just really wanted to have a little break before dinner. So anyway, so after the Mani and Pasta class, and like I said, we did pay extra for that. Then we went back to the hotel and had a little downtime before we had a traditional dinner at the Hotel Excelsior. So then we walked all back up the hill again to the hotel that my family and I had stayed at earlier in the week. And Alessandro Gilmozzi and his entire Michelin star restaurant staff had prepared a traditional Alpine, modern but traditional Alpine meal for us. And so we all ate together in their like formal dining room. And it was amazing because, I didn't say this, but for my husband's 60th birthday, before the retreat started, we actually went to the Michelin star restaurant for dinner. It's the first time we've ever been there. We went with my son and his family. And so we met his sommelier, kind of maitre d', general manager, and a lot of the wait staff. And so we knew a lot of them. So at the traditional dinner with the retreat, they were all there. So it was really fun to already know them. And the food, again, I mean, every meal is absolutely insanely delicious. So that's why they said light lunch, because then, like I said, we ate pasta at the pasta class, and then we went to dinner. It was absolutely amazing. Then we all walked back down the hill, and like I said, people didn't hang out afterward, but again, some of us were up early for the waterfall hike, and then just busy all day. So, and it was it was actually unseasonably warm. I don't know if any of you know, there's been a heat wave everywhere, United States, Europe. So it's obviously cooler in the mountains than, down in Milan, but it's definitely unseasonably warm. It was this year, so it didn't get as cool at night. Luckily, there's not a lot of bugs. You can open your windows. There's no AC in the hotel, in either one. So at night, you just open your windows really wide and cool off your room. But it was warm. It was warm. Be ready to be warm when you're in Europe in the summer. So then the next morning, what we'll call day 3, but the second full day, we had breakfast again. And then we had our day on the Alpine pasture. And I was actually able to take the VIP Live members along. I told them we're going to be up on the mountains. If there's no cell, I can't take you along. And I don't think some of it was blurry. I don't know if they really, but they got the idea. But we take a couple of vans up. We actually were able to take some participants up in our van. Oh, and I paid extra so that my son and his family could go. So we take vans up these dirt roads, private roads, dirt roads up in the Dolomites. And we went to Alessandro Gilmozzi's lodge. And it's basically a little cabin. And I guess his family uses it. I really don't know. Or they use it for events like this. It's just, I think, a one-room cabin, a log cabin. And there's a big lawn outside and just surrounded by forest and mountains. And once we all got up there, then we started walking along the paths and we go foraging with Alessandro Gilmozzi. So in case you don't know, the reason he has a green Michelin star, that's known for sustainability. And his specialty is sustainability through foraging, through using ingredients from his local environment. And he also has a zero waste policy. So they use every part of whatever they forage, they use it. They're not wasteful. And as we're foraging, he also says only very few people have like a license of some sort to even be allowed to forage these things. And he has one. So just any random person can't go up and take some of these, wildflowers, some of these lichen, some of these, especially the more rare herbs and plants. So, but we walk with him and it's at least an hour, maybe an hour and a half. And he stops every few inches and picks up something and has you taste it. And honestly, my grandchildren tasted every single thing. I was so impressed. And we walk by a stream, we're out in the pastures, we're also deep in the forest. It's just literally the most priceless. I mean, the retreat, the knitting, everything is amazing. Everything is amazing. But that in and of itself is priceless. I mean, absolutely amazing. And so we did that. And then by the time we get back, the things that he has foraged, actually, I think his staff goes out early and forages before so they can actually make our meal. But our entire salad was made of, except the cream on the bottom, but all the greens and the flowers were from foraged ingredients from that day. Because obviously you can't forage them ahead of time. You can't forage flowers and then use them the next day. So they have to do that every day for his restaurant, and then they did it for us. And it was a multiple course meal, homemade polenta, I think a piece of pork with some lovely gravy, the salad. I think we had apple strudel for dessert, and wine pairings with everything. It started with a huge cheese and meat board and breads before we even got the meal. And we were set up on the side of the pasture near the cabin with tables with tablecloths and china and glasses and everything. Absolutely amazing. But the restroom is an outhouse. See, it's just amazing. It was beautiful. But we all had to traipse up the hill to use the outhouse every once in a while. And then Alpine water is flowing down from the mountain into like a hollowed out log that, you know, it's full of water because it's constantly flowing, and that's where you like wash your hands, and the water is so cold coming right off the mountain that's where they put like cold bottles, like bottles of wine and things they wanted to keep cold. They put it in that thing with the Alpine water. It was just so cool. It's so cool. It's so cool. I can't even. And I'm sure Beth McDonald Stone probably has a lot more footage than I do. Besides doing the VIP lives, I really, really wanted to enjoy my family. So I tried to balance that. Anyway, so after that, then, so while we were foraging, there was this stream, and I was dying to take my shoes off and put my feet in the stream. And it turns out when we were eating lunch, my son and my daughter-in-law said the same thing. So since we had our own van, we decided after the lunch was done, we asked if it was allowed, and they said yes. We walked back to the stream. We all took off our shoes, and maybe I'll include that video. There's a cute video. My son also, there was a tree had fallen down across the stream, and he wanted to take his children walking across this fallen tree. And then they climbed down into the water. I do have that video for sure, so I'll include that at the end. And everybody was shocked at how cold the water is. Ice cold, like to the bone, so cold, but so refreshing and so wonderful. So we got to do that. It was really lovely. Then we all went back to, in the vans to the hotel. And of course we didn't have to have lunch because we had it on the mountain. And so we had a little free time. And then after that, they do this every retreat, the middle day, they do in the afternoon something called the mYak journey. And so they talk about how mYak got started, what their current projects are. By the way, their current project is, besides the yarn, is helping the Tibetan people to produce, this ongoing income or sustainable income. So using the milk from the yak, they make yogurt, they make cheese. And so if you want to support them in any other way besides buying yarn, you can go and donate to that project because there's always financial needs for that. Anyway, so they talk about that, but I've seen it multiple times. And so I had this idea. I was so nervous. And I told Paola before we even went, like, I want to ask Isabella if I can interview her. Do you think she would do it? And she's like, of course she would. But I was so nervous. I actually didn't even wait. I didn't ask her ahead of time. I waited till I got there. And then I was like, I might have asked her when we did the waterfall hike the first morning. And she said, of course. And of course, we're so busy, I had to find time. So I said, why don't we do it during the mYak story? So we did. I got to interview Isabell Kraemer. The interview is not long. It's less than 20 minutes long. And I was so nervous. Oh my goodness. And besides that, this huge storm was coming in. Lightning, thunder, dark clouds. It was crazy. And there's no real indoor space to do it. So I wanted to do it out on the deck. And I did film it with VIP Live. So it's a live YouTube video. And I didn't really watch it yet, but I looked at a little bit of it. And the quality isn't great just because of the connectivity. But I'm actually going to release it separate. So I am eventually I did tell the VIP Live members that I am going to eventually release that Isabell Kraemer interview separate from this video. So eventually it will go up. But it was so fun, and she's so gracious. I did actually tell her, she did want to kind of know what I was going to ask ahead of time, so I wrote down a bunch of questions, and I talked to her about them earlier that day or maybe the day before, and then I actually wrote them all down and gave her a copy so she could see. And then I asked her those questions, and it was so fun. And yeah, it was really lovely. So thank you so much, Isabell. Thank you so much for letting me interview you. Once in a lifetime privilege. So then after that was dinner, and this dinner was at the Park Hotel Azalea. Again, just amazing food. And then everybody went to bed. After that afternoon or the whole morning, really most of the day on the Alpine pasture, we were all exhausted. And then day 4, so this is the last full day, began, of course, with yoga if you wanted to. And I think they did a waterfall hike again, but I did not. I didn't even ask the VIP Live members. I wanted to sleep in. So I did. I mean, it's still not sleeping in much, but I slept in, and then we went to breakfast. And then this workshop was about one of the patterns that Isabell created for the retreat, and it's called El Tatio. I think that's how you say it, El Tatio. And it's a lovely cardigan with a very simple texture on the front, and it has what she called, and she said, I don't know why they're called European shoulders, but it's kind of what they're called. But it's that kind that Jonna does all the time, where you cast on the back neck, and then you do I'm pretty sure then you do increases, or no, maybe you cast on the shoulders, the back neck and the shoulders, and then you knit this trapezoid, and then you pick up stitches from there to knit the front. And so the shoulder seam hangs toward the back. So it's not right on top. It's more toward the back. So the textured pattern is only on the front, but it kind of wraps over the shoulder. And then the sleeves are just plain stockinette. And there's a little bit of the pattern at the bottom of the sleeves before the rib. But one of my favorite things is down the center back is one line down the center back of, I'm pretty sure it's of this pattern, but it's really lovely. She calls it a pearl 2 something. But yeah, so that's that. And that's what I bought this yarn for. I didn't show you yet, did I? It's a new colorway of mYak Tibetan Cloud, and it's called Mélange. And so it has kind of this gray I think this is a natural color, but because it's the natural color, it has multiple kind of like all different variations of gray in it. I don't know if you can see it. And there's some browns and some other colors, but that's the one I got. And then so in the class, we just started a swatch. And so you can see I didn't get very far. And this is not Isabell's needle. I didn't steal it. But I just started a little bit. And it was really fun. So it's a really simple, easy to memorize texture pattern. I wonder if it's one of the ones that was, no, it's not dip stitches. So it's not in the dip stitch packet. But yeah, so we started that, really fun and super relaxed. Really, it's like all knitting. The class is all knitting, not just sitting and listening. It's just you cast on and you just start working. It's really nice. And some people actually are her test knitters. So some people were actually knitting the cardigan, which was neat because then I got to look at it and ask questions. That was really cool. So then after that knitting class, then was another light lunch, because that night was the last night and we have the huge pizza party. So light lunch, but again, it's not a light lunch. Then in the afternoon with the retreat, they call it a panoramic walk. And I had already walked around town the other 2 years I've been there, and I had walked around the whole, 4 days I was there with my family. And it was the last afternoon I was going to get to spend with my family, because the next day they were going to fly back to Bordeaux. So I did not do something with the retreat, although it ended up some of them came with us. We actually, there's this so the waterfall is down in the valley, and up the hill above the town is a pagoda. And you walk up through the town, the cobblestone streets a little bit, and then you take this steep staircase. You can also follow along the road and come around. It's a little less steep, well, a lot less steep, but you still have to get up above the town. And then when you walk up there, there's this beautiful pagoda. So I'll insert pictures at the end. But my grandchildren loved the pagoda. We went there multiple times. They went with their parents when I was busy with the knitting retreat. But this was the last time we were going to be able to go to the pagoda. So after lunch, we decided to first go get gelato at the gelateria, the one Paola likes. She says it's the best one in the Dolomites. I think it was called artigianale, so artisan gelateria. And we went there many, many times while we were there, but this was the last time we were going to be able to go. So after lunch, we went to the gelateria and had gelato. And that's where we noticed that some of the retreat participants were there. And so we told them we were going to go up to the pagoda, so they went with us. So we all walked up to the pagoda together. And this year at the pagoda, it's never been this way before, but there's some like pastures built in behind the pagoda further back on the hill, and they had horses there. So every day, my grandchildren, almost every day, there were apples on the buffet, but also in the first hotel, Excelsior. But when you're coming and going, there's these huge glass jars. One has one color apples, one has the other other color, like red and green. And they're for like hikers, or you can just come and go and take an apple out. And so every day they would grab an apple each for the horses. And so by the last day, the horses knew them. And so they would see them coming and run over, and they would feed them apples. It was really fun. But then after that, we walked back down, and then I had to be back down because then is the famous mYak fashion show. Now, the first 2 years that I went to the retreats in the Dolomites, there was no fashion show. Actually, the first time I've ever really been to a mYak fashion show was the last 2 years at A Time to Remember. But that's not the participants. That's like the designers and stuff like that. So what did I wear? Oh, I think I wore this. No, maybe I didn't. I think I wore something else. And a shawl my mom had made out of mYak yarn. But yeah, so out in the lawn, we did a fashion show. It was really cute. I don't think I have footage of that. Paula, if you go on Instagram and look at Paula's video, it's really good. And then after that, we had our final dinner at the Excelsior Pizza restaurant. And so again, this pizza restaurant is also owned, or at least the food is made by the Michelin star chef, Alessandro Gilmozzi. So we went up there and we had just stuffed ourselves with pizza and salad and yummy wine. And that was the last night. It was really fun. And then the next morning, if you came by bus, the bus to bring the majority of the participants back leaves crazy early in the morning, like 7 a.m., 6:30, 7. So it's even before breakfast is served. So they make breakfast boxes for everybody, but you can't get coffee. You have to get that one. And they do stop halfway to the Milan Malpensa airport. Oh, that's one thing I wanted to mention. If you book a flight to the retreat, really, and Paula told me this, the Venice airport is closer, but there's less flights. I think they're more expensive. And it's just better to fly into Malpensa. I mean, Paula has lived there in her whole life, and she always flies into Malpensa. And so when when the bus picks their participants up and drives them, they pick them up at the airport and drive them to the retreat, and then at the end drive them back to the airport. They stop 2 hours in for coffee, snacks, and all that stuff at one of those delicious service areas. And so they had to leave crazy early, and of course I would have loved to sleep in, but I really wanted to be up and say goodbye to everybody. So I got up early and helped, I think I helped Tracy roll her suitcase up, because the bus is a big size bus and it can't get down the cobblestone streets all the way to that hotel. So when they get dropped off from the airport, they have to walk down either with their suitcase, or Andrea with his car brings suitcases back and forth. And then the same thing when they were leaving, if people wanted to, they could drag their suitcase up the cobblestones to this area where the bus can get in. Or again, Andrea will drive suitcases back and forth. So I pulled Tracy's suitcase up for her. I got to hang out with her and hang out with Diana one last time early in the morning and say goodbye. And it's so bittersweet. It's so sweet because we just had such a wonderful, sweet time together. But it's so sad to say goodbye to everybody. But we made so many amazing memories. So that's basically the retreat. And, my own family, we went back and had breakfast at the hotel, checked out, packed the van, drove to Malpensa. And then my son and his family that afternoon got on their flight to Bordeaux to go back home. And then my husband and myself, later that night, we flew down to Bari in Puglia. And then from when we arrived, we rented a car and we drove to our first bed and breakfast down there. One of my husband's best friends, his sister is a travel agent specifically for Italy. She lives in Puglia. She's American, so she's totally fluent in English, but she's also totally fluent in Italian. And she lives down there. So she was our travel agent. And with her, for our second week in Puglia, with her, you can either do, like I told her, like, we need to do like the budget friendly version of our second week. I didn't want to have to plan it. And so we self-drove. We did have two different times. We had a private tour guide for the morning for 2 of the cities, but otherwise we just walked ourselves around. She gave us suggestions for every day where we should go, possible restaurants, all the things we should see, but it was really up to us to do it. But she booked all of our lodging and the 2 tour guides. So anyway, it was lovely. And then we flew back. We were in Puglia for a week, and then we flew back on Saturday the 27th from Bari to Malpensa. And we stayed in Milan for one night, and then we flew back to the US on Sunday the 28th, and then came home. And oh my goodness, it was so much harder this time for me to get over the jet lag, I have to say. The week after we got home, I was so tired. I feel like the jet lag is worse coming home, but I think people say it's worse going there. For me, it wasn't that bad. We got there in the morning. We didn't take a nap. We just stayed up all day until like regular bedtime and went to bed. It was fine. Coming back was really hard for me. Anyway, so that was it. I think I talked about almost everything. Oh, my acquisitions. Of course you want to know what I bought, right? I have no idea how long this video is. Eek. Hope it's not too long. But my acquisitions, you want to see? I already mentioned the Tibetan cloud melange. I got this to make the El Tatio. I got enough sweaters quantity to make El Tatio, and I do plan on making it. Absolutely, no question. And then the second pattern, which I didn't get to show you yet, is the second official pattern, La Storia. And it is this beautiful V-neck t-shirt. And they had one there, of course. And Isabell wore it one day. And it is so drapey and dreamy and gorgeous. And again, it has a very subtle texture stitch. I don't even know what it is because we didn't learn it or anything. And I haven't really looked at the pattern. But that's what I bought my Bright Canary Fior di Cashmere to make that. I cannot wait to make that. What else did I get? Of course, I had to get souvenirs for Jonna. Of course. I got, I think these are new colorways, maybe, of this Fiber Gentili. 75% Italian wool, 25% recycled sea nylon. And so it's like sock yarn. I mean, you can use it for anything, of course, but I got 2 different colors for Jonna. The 2 colors they had, Blooming Flowers and Nota Stellata. I don't speak Italian, but let me guess that it's like Starry Night. Nota Stellata. Sounds like Starry Night. But look at how gorgeous these are. So I can't wait to give them to Jonna. Oh my goodness. Yay. She's going to love them. I got her also some dish towels from a local shop there. And then the only other thing I got was, I told you I won the bingo. So some of the things in here are from the bingo. But I got prizes for the VIP members who won. And one of them will get an official retreat bag. But the others, I have previous mYak tote bags. Everybody will get a beautiful, and they're big mYak tote bags. And then just an assortment. Everybody will get, I bought these mYak measuring tapes. All 3 of them will get a mYak measuring tape. And I also got these beautiful, there's 3 different color sets, mYak butterfly stitch markers. Oh my goodness, they're so gorgeous. I love them so much. And then, so those are the 3 things that the 3 things. Everybody will get a bag, everybody will get a tape measure, everybody will get stitch markers. Then I have stuff from the other swag bag and also from my bingo prize. So some of them will get a pencil. This is a candle. Also, I don't know who makes this candle, but a little candle in a tin. There's a mYak pin that somebody will get. There's a mYak notepad that somebody will get. Oh, and somebody is going to get a little tube, it's in here, of the edible flowers. And a poster, a mYak poster. And also, like I said, some of the swag bag things, somebody will get polenta, somebody will get the syrup, somebody will get, actually I have to confess, Paula is getting extra hand cream for people who wanted to buy some more. So everybody will get a hand cream. I have to wait for that. Oh, that's right. I have to wait for that to arrive. So I can't ship the gifts yet. Sorry. Anyway, and whatever the other things were that were in the swag bag. So I'm going to divide those up between the VIP live winners, and they will get those things. So I think Mercedes won the first full day, the giveaway. Pat, my friend Pat, won the second day, and Jillian from Ontario, she won the third day. So if you three haven't sent me your addresses yet, actually, I'm going to see Pat at Rhinebeck, so I'm going to give her prize then. But Mercedes, do I have your address, Mercedes? I have your phone number, I think. I can just text you. But Jillian, I don't know how to get in touch with you, so please email us your address so I can mail you your VIP live prize from the mYak retreat. Anyway, what am I wearing? I'm wearing my Dingley Dell. Remember the very first summer we had our podcast, Paula set up a collaboration between us and Isabell Kraemer. So I hadn't met her until this last January in person, but we got to meet her through those Zooms that we did for the cow that we did with her, and we all knitted a Dingley Dell. And this was mine, and it's in mYak silk, and I absolutely love it. And I love it. I love the color combination. I don't remember the names of the colors, but it's on my Ravelry. You can go check it out. So I guess that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will edit and maybe make a quick intro for my Isabell Kraemer interview and release it after this is released. And again, Jonna and I are planning to film episode 38 as soon as possible. I don't know if I'll have time to edit it and air it before I go away for my 2-week vacation in Canada in early August, or if it'll have to wait till after, but we are still trying to produce content. And don't forget to comment. It's really, really important for the YouTube algorithm to please comment. Say something, anything. I have been very, very good about replying to the comments recently. Really trying to reply to all of the comments in a very timely manner. I won't be able to do it if I'm in Canada, but when I get back, I will reply to all of your comments, or Jonna will reply. Also, just like the videos. Please, please, please like. If you don't like them, I guess you can give us a thumbs down, but I hope you like them. And subscribe if you haven't. We get a lot more views than we have subscribers, obviously. If you like to watch and view our content, please subscribe. It really, really does make a difference. The only revenue we get from our videos is the little teeny tiny bit of ad revenue, which really is like nothing. We really do it for fun, but it helps to have get a little money back to help buy prizes and things like that. It definitely helps. So subscribe, please. We would love that, and share with your friends. And we still get comments. People are like, oh my goodness, I just found you guys. Why didn't I know about you before? And it's really, really sweet. And of course, if you're like Jonna and you just find us, you just pop in and watch whatever video. And if you're like me, you go back from the beginning, and people do both. I always start from the very beginning, but you can do whatever you want. Be a Jonna or be a Kim, doesn't matter. Or really just be you. And become a member if you want. So we have now 4 levels of membership. The knit, we call them Knit 1, Purl 2, Cable 3, and now VIP Live. Knit 1, you definitely get priority commenting. There's a little icon that shows up next to your name when you comment. Also, one of the main perks is that you get to view all the videos 24 hours in advance. So that's really cool. We also provide some extra behind the scenes photos and videos every once in a while. For Purl 2s, you definitely get, I have been very diligent and deliberate about almost every day I post for Purl 2s and higher, some sort of picture, either something like recently Jonna went to the farmer's market and got a beautiful bouquet of wildflowers. So it's some just from our lives and some from our knitting and everything in between. So that you get. And then plus the the early viewing of the videos. And then for cable threes, the big extra perk is a monthly Zoom with us. And we really do that almost every single month. There's only been very rare occasions when we have not done the cable three Zoom. And it's really, really fun. Sometimes it's just a small group, 4 people. Sometimes it's as big as like 10. And it's really fun. We talk about what projects we're working on. And obviously it's Zoom, so we can see everybody's faces and have conversations with people. And we really are building really friendships through this. It's really, really fun. So that's the big cable 3 perk. And then the VIP live, you already know. So it's these behind the scenes, or just everyday life, or just coming out and about with me. I'm taking suggestions from people, what they want to see. VIP live, it's a YouTube live, so I can't see your faces, but as you're commenting, I can talk to you. I can reply to your comments as I'm going live. And we will do prizes like we have been this month. As I said, I've done 3 lives, and some of them are pretty long. So I think it's a good deal. It's as much as like a couple of, well, in New York, it's $20, 20 something for a movie ticket. So it's definitely like a ticket to the movies, you know? Also, we do have merch. We have t-shirts and mugs and tote bags and the merch link. And we're also affiliates for Twice Sheared Sheep. So if you need stitch markers, we love the row counters, all the little gadgets and doodads, you can order them through our affiliate link, or you can also order them. Pick Up Every Stitch carries a lot of it now too, so you can get them from them. We don't care as long as you're supporting. I mean, we're all these small women-owned businesses, so I mean, we love men too, but it's really nice to support. Twice Sheared Sheep is a women-owned business, and you know, Pick Up Every Stitch is as well. So anyway, I really think that's it. Let me look around. Oh, I forgot to mention my strange background. So it's my swatch board is normal, but you can't really see it because I'm pet sitting. I'm pet sitting my youngest daughter and her husband, and the 2 kids are on vacation, and they needed someone to watch their gecko. So there's a gecko in there. And I go and get it crickets. I'm such a good gecko grandma. I go and get it live crickets once a week. And feed it, well, I don't feed it the live crickets, I just throw them in there, dump them in there, and change the water and spray water in for humidity, but the gecko's in there. And anyway, so if you're wondering what that is, that's what that is. But we made it through. The power didn't go out. There hasn't been a tornado yet. And looks like it stopped raining for now, but thank you so much for watching, and see you next time. Bye.
Yeah, oh, yeah, don't lean too hard on the branches. Make sure it's steady, okay, Daphne? And don't lean on it too hard, okay? Oh yeah, babe. This one's pretty good. You got that so far? Yeah. All right, how about Daphne? How about you go in front of me now so I can go behind you, okay?
Okay.
So I can see you. Let's just have Daphne go in front and then you behind me. Well, maybe you can have a turn in front. I just want to make sure that Daphne's good here. Good, good strategy, good method. Ooh, looking good, baby. Nice.
This is how memories are made, right?
Alright, let's give it a faster turn in front, huh? Daphne, can you wait there?
Oh, that branch is leaning.
Yeah, don't lean on that one too much. It's really small.
Bendy.
Good?
Whoa! Ah, this makes it complicated.
This makes it complicated.
So what do we do? What do we do now? We go there.
Daphne, okay.
Oh, yep.
You're
Oh
good.
yeah. Okay. Okay.
Try to step in
There's
the...
wood here.
Yeah, just be a little piece
See
of
a
wood
little
there.
stuff here?
We'll wait here,
Oh,
Daphne.
hold
okay?
on to me. Like use me as a bar. Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Yeah. I'm okay. Yo, I'm okay.
See? Yeah, they break.
I'm okay.
Good job.
Oh yeah. Let's
It's gonna be cold. It's normal.
It's gonna be cold.
The
Okay.
pencil dry.
Yeah. We'll get used to it. Mama's in the water for a few minutes now, so.
Let's limit a little bit how wet because it'll be cold.
Sure. Of course.
Put your foot down.
You'll be happy you did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Come over here.
There you go.
Don't make me laugh.
Nicely done.
His reaction to the cold water.
I can help roll up your pants.
Oh,
Okay?
I think I just scratched myself.
You don't want to go in the water anymore? There you go.
I don't know what I did. I need to get used to this.
You're gonna enjoy this stuff. There you go. We'll hop
It's
on.
not a swimming pool.
Ready?
No.
No. Where do I go?
Yeah, there you go.
I like literally couldn't move. I was trying to like laugh and hold it at the same time. Oh my god.
Sorry. Itchy nose.